Good Monday morning. I'm Stephen Romo.
And I'm Zinclea Samoa. Joe and Savannah are on assignment. Right now on Morning News Now, states of emergency. Another round of severe weather is battering the Deep South this morning after a devastating weekend of deadly tornadoes ripped through Georgia and Mississippi, reducing many communities to rubble.
Lord knows where it's at. I mean, I know some of it's here because I see some of my remnants, but some of it was definitely taken away.
But it was here.
Right there. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's nothing, man. I mean, but hey, I'm alive.
We're on the ground with new pictures of the destruction, plus the Biden administration's response. Backlash breaking overnight, more violence and unrest in Israel as tens of thousands there protest Prime Minister Netanyahu's sudden firing of his defense minister, all over Netanyahu's controversial plan to overhaul the country's judiciary. We'll bring you the latest scenes in just a moment. On the trail, former President Donald Trump marking his first major 2024 event with a raucous rally in Waco, Texas over the weekend, blasting the federal officials investigating him as that New York grand jury reconvenes today, holding a possible indictment over his campaign. We've got more on that, plus Trump's take on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a potential competitor as he weighs a run for the White House. Also this morning, four's a crowd. This year's March Madness has truly lived up to its name with a bracket-busting Final Four lineup that has not been seen in more than half a century. We've got the highlights plus who we're watching as the tournament heats up. And driving to a dream. We'll end the hour with a bit of inspiration for your Monday morning. He's a trucker who went to art school, but he never let the open road detour his passion for painting. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, very cool.
Yes.
My dad's a truck driver. I'm going to have him watch that.
Oh, can't wait.
He'll love it.
And
yeah.
we'll get to it. Good morning, Dad, and good morning to you all. This morning, though, we start with several towns in Mississippi reeling after deadly severe weather pummeled the South this weekend.
Yeah, the small rural town of Rolling Fork is one of the hardest hit areas. The National Weather Service confirming a preliminary EF4 rating for a tornado there that was on the ground for more than an hour. It traveled at least 170 miles. It ripped through Rolling Fork before traveling northeast, tearing roofs off homes, knocking down trees and power lines, and just leaving buildings in complete rubble.
We can't account for everybody, and it just hurts. Yeah, it's just hard. You take a struggling little town already, and it's just gone.
States like Georgia and Alabama were also hard hit. Yesterday, Georgia's governor declared a state of emergency after severe storms and tornadoes slammed the state. Several counties there were under flash flood warnings as well. And this morning, the state isn't in the clear just yet. The National Weather Service, there's a slight risk for severe weather in parts of central Georgia today. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa joins us now from Silver City, Mississippi, another of those hard hit areas. Maggie, what are you seeing in Silver City this morning?
I mean, Stevens and Clay, good morning. You guys can see the devastation for yourself. This made us gasp, frankly, when we drove up here. You can see basically the outline of the foundation, these cinder blocks here, and then this is what used to be a garage on this home. There's a riding lawnmower, like in the middle of all the debris. I mean, this was... this is a life. This was a home, and now it's just, frankly, no more. You said we're in Silver City, Mississippi. That's a city of just over 300 people, close to 330. 3 were killed by that tornado on Friday. The stories that we've heard here on the ground, absolutely harrowing. Take a listen.
We could hear the wind and hear the roof peeling back, and felt the house kind of twisting a little bit.
It's like a bomb went off. It's total devastation in the areas that's hit. Houses are gone, houses stacked on top of houses with vehicles on top of that.
And I should be clear, we have 3 dead here in Silver City, this small city alone. Overall, the death toll across Mississippi into Alabama, 26 and counting. As in Clay and Stephen, you know, search and recovery efforts are still ongoing, guys.
Just devastating seeing that video. Vehicles tossed into buildings. Maggie, I know President Biden declared a major disaster in Mississippi yesterday and ordered that federal aid for recovery efforts. What will that do in terms of resources that will be made available, and when will people be able to see that?
Yeah, they've been very clear that they think that should go toward everything from affordable housing in the meantime while things are being rebuilt to rebuilding homes like this that have been absolutely demolished. Also covering uninsured property losses for people, which is a huge issue after natural disasters like this. There has been no hard timeline that we've seen, but FEMA has just said basically as soon as possible. Federal officials noting that people need this help as soon as they can get it. Take a listen.
The president has directed us to be here to assist the people of Mississippi, to be here on an enduring basis, not just through the response, but through the recovery as well.
We want to make sure that we understand what the needs are and what the best tools are going to be to come in and support this community as quickly as possible.
And guys, at this point, FEMA has been on the ground. They got here yesterday, meeting with local and state officials, just surveying damage scenes like this. They say they've counted 2,000 homes damaged by that one tornado on Friday, and they're still going. Guys.
Heartbreaking to see that damage there where you are in Mississippi. We also know, as you mentioned, Georgia was hard hit. Do we know what conditions are like there? We don't have a lot of time left, but we want to check on that, Maggie.
Yeah, absolutely. So as if this wasn't enough, we had another round of severe storms and tornadoes roll through Georgia. Dozens of homes damaged there, 20 to 30 severely damaged. And guys, a crazy headline out of LaGrange, Georgia. 2 tigers getting out of their enclosure after that facility was damaged. Officials, amid all the chaos there, had to track those tigers down. They did. They got them back into safety. But that state's governor also declaring a state of emergency. People there also picking up the pieces, guys.
Heartbreaking to hear all of those developments. All right, Maggie, thanks so much.
Let's bring in storm chaser Johnny Gable for more on this. Johnny, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. So I know you have witnessed so much firsthand. You've been doing this work for years. Walk us through what you saw both before and after this storm. What was going through your mind, and how does it compare to other storms you've chased?
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me. It means a lot. So, yeah, I've been doing this 4 or 5 years. And, I've chased other EF4 tornadoes before. I was there for the Idabel EF4 that hit back in November. And there was just something different about this, that just the way the storm was organizing just shortly after 7 p.m. And, oh my gosh, just how violent it started rotating even before the tornado touchdown. My gosh, I knew it was going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad right when it got close to the Mississippi River. I remember.
No, keep going. I mean, hearing you say you knew it was going to be bad, and you've been chasing these kinds of storms for years. I mean, once you stopped chasing the storm, I know you went to Rolling Fork, where you ended up rescuing an entire family from their home. How did you even find them, and what was your initial reaction when you finally made your way through all that rubble we're seeing?
Yes, correct. So the hardest thing was just finding a safe path to get to the areas that were hardest hit. I'd say we were probably walking around for quite some time before we were even able to get into, there was like a landmine. It was like a minefield of, just electrical wires and hazards. I mean, we tried to go 2 or 3 different ways and we couldn't get through. It was all just destroyed. But finally, we found a safe path. And shortly after, we heard that family yelling to us. And we just darted over there right away and just got to work. We just wanted to make sure we got them out of the house, because the house was actually collapsing in. And we wanted to get them out of the house and just somewhere, even in their backyard, where it was safer. As well, there could be leaking gas or other hazards in that house. So it was a terrifying sight. But you know what? That family, I keep calling them a beacon of hope, or just like a sign of hope. And, whoever saved that, or whoever saved that family, I'd say it wasn't us. It was God, or it was luck, or it was chance, whatever it was. But they were all miraculously just unscathed.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable.
Truly unbelievable and remarkable and incredible work that you're doing, both as a storm chaser and I know a carpenter. You're rebuilding a home for them. So, Johnny, Gable, thank you for making the time, and best wishes to you as you continue your work.
Thank you so much.
Just an awful situation there. And joining us now is meteorologist Michelle Grossman. Michelle, good morning. What are things looking like right now?
Good morning to you both. Well, we're still looking at the chance for strong storms. We're seeing strong thunderstorms even this morning. We had the storms yesterday. You talked about, of course, the devastation on Friday night. It's all due to the same frontal boundary that brought the tornadoes to California early last week. It's sort of parked over the southeast. It's bringing really heavy rainfall. It's bringing some gusty winds and also that threat for strong to severe thunderstorms. So flood alerts are in place where you see the green throughout Alabama, also Georgia. We have flash flood warnings because we're seeing rainfall rates of an inch an hour, an inch and a half per hour. There's a lot of moisture with this. It's being pulled from the Gulf, and it's right along that frontal boundary. Lots of lightning, too. We saw that all day yesterday into the overnight hours, seeing it this morning as well. So we're going to be watching this very closely as we go throughout the day because that frontal boundary, again, is not moving very far. We're going to see it move a bit to the south as we head towards tomorrow. But this is what it looks like on radar right now. Lots of bright colors. You know what that means. That means heavy rainfall. So those reds, yellows, oranges showing us where that heavy rainfall is falling, and we're seeing that lightning. We're hearing the thunder. And this is what we're looking at from the Severe Prediction Center. The threat for through this afternoon, winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. That is the main threat, but we still could see some hail. We could see certainly we'll see some heavy rainfall, some downpours, and could see a few tornadoes, especially where you see the yellow throughout Georgia into South Carolina, Albany to Savannah is where we're expecting the likelihood for those strong to severe storms. It's all due to this frontal boundary that's moving very, very slowly. It's bringing that severe weather. It's bringing heavy rain. And then by tomorrow, we're going to see that threat moving a little bit to the east, a little bit to the south from New Orleans to Jacksonville. But again, intense rainfall rates, that's going to lead to the risk of localized flooding. So please be careful as you're out and about today because the ground is saturated and the downpours will be coming down very, very quickly. This is a snapshot for today. We have those lingering storms. That's the big weather story for today. We have some showers throughout the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, some wet snow mixing in New England, and then back to the west, we're looking unsettled once again. Back to you both.
Bottom line, bring that umbrella, sounds like.
Yeah. Keep it ready. Michelle.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, now to nuclear fears on the rise again after Russian President Vladimir Putin announced he is planning to store some tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, which is a Russian ally. The move could be the first time since the mid-90s that Russia deploys nuclear weapons outside its borders. Tactical nukes, by the way, are not meant to, say, destroy cities. They're used for battlefield gains, concerning nonetheless. So joining us now for more on this, NBC News White House correspondent Ali Rafa. Ali, good morning. Thanks for being here. So we know the United States has also been storing some of its nuclear weapons across Europe for quite some time now. Walk us through this plan that Russia has. Is it any different than what the U.S. is doing?
Yeah, guys, good morning. Well, since the mid-1990s, it's really been a point of pride for Russia to, as you mentioned, only store its nukes within its borders. And now you're seeing President Putin essentially justify this decision by saying it's okay that we do it because the United States also does it. And yes, that's true. The U.S. actually stores around 100 nuclear warheads around 5 different NATO countries across Europe. But that is something that President Putin has condemned, saying that it violates a nuclear non-proliferation treaty. He's condemned that multiple times in the past. So the fact that he's flip-flopping here and justifying his decision by equating it to the U.S.'s moves at a 30,000-foot perspective is significant because at its core, it's showing that President Putin has reached a point where he is willing to break from tradition and try these new things to tighten Russia's grip around Ukraine, guys.
So, Ali, what's the reaction been like from NATO and the United States to this move? It's hard to see it as anything other than an escalation.
Yeah, NATO responded to this this weekend, calling it, quote, dangerous and irresponsible. That's something that Ukrainian officials also echoed throughout the weekend, one of them likening this to scare tactics. And U.S. officials are saying, yes, this is significant if it does happen, but they're sort of tamping down concerns because they say they haven't seen evidence of it just yet. And they're also remembering some key context here, the fact that Russia and Belarus have talked about doing this for some time now. So this wasn't all too surprising for U.S. officials who have been monitoring every step of this war since it began. One of those officials is National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby, who reacted to this move yesterday. Listen here.
I can tell you that we've seen nothing that would indicate Mr. Putin is preparing to use tactical nuclear weapons in any way whatsoever in Ukraine. And I can also tell you that we haven't seen anything that would cause us to change our own strategic nuclear deterrent posture.
So the U.S. not changing its nuclear posture for now, but it's well aware of the significance this could potentially have, especially on the 3 NATO countries that border Belarus. So it's going to be interesting to see if this does happen, how the United States' approach to it changes potentially. Could we see more aid packages to Ukraine? Could we potentially see more sanctions against Belarus or Russia if this does indeed happen, you guys?
Yet another development to watch. All right, Ali Rafa, thank you.
Now to the latest on the New York investigation into Donald Trump. The grand jury is reconvening this morning, but it's unclear if jurors will pick up the Trump case involving an alleged hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. He's denied any wrongdoing in this case, and it comes as Trump held his first campaign rally over the weekend in Texas. For more, we're joined by NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard from West Palm Beach, Florida. Vaughn, good morning. So we're still waiting to find out whether or not the grand jury will vote to indict Trump. Where does the investigation stand right now as we wait for a decision, and what possible time frame are we looking at?
Right, Sinclair. I don't know. Donald Trump doesn't know. Really, the only individuals that do are those inside the Manhattan District Attorney's office, because the grand jury is set to convene this afternoon, but it's not even clear if they will convene to hear evidence or testimony around this particular case involving that 2016 alleged hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. And so this is really working off of the district attorney's timeline. It could be today that he would seek the charges, or it could be next week, or he could never seek it. That's really sort of the question mark during what are these secret proceedings that are held by this grand jury, Sinclair.
So lots of question marks, but what we do know, Vaughn, is that Trump held a rally on Saturday in Waco, Texas. What were some of the big takeaways there?
Right. This was, for Donald Trump, a significant moment. It was his first major rally of his 2024 presidential campaign, but it was more so a rally to galvanize his base of support, to undermine and undercut the integrity of the multiple investigations into him. He talked about, for the district attorney's case in Manhattan specifically, and around Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels. And I actually want to let you hear part of a conversation that I had with Donald Trump on his plane. I flew here from West Palm Beach to Texas and back because there's particularly questions here that the district attorney, we believe, is looking at as it relates to his reimbursement checks that he wrote out of his personal checkbook to Michael Cohen after the 2016 election. And my question for him was, when did he know that that money was going to repay Michael Cohen for Stormy Daniels? And take a listen.
When did you realize that you were paying Michael for the Stormy Daniels?
Oh, later. What that letter said is a very accurate letter. He wanted to ingratiate himself to me, to show me what a hotshot he was. And if you look at that letter spells it out.
What did you think you were paying Michael for?
Well, I don't know exactly what the status or exactly what the question is as to how much, but he did work for us, but he didn't do very much work for us. He wasn't like a big shot lawyer.
That letter that Donald Trump was referencing was in 2018, Michael Cohen's legal counsel saying that the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign were party to the payment to Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen now says he explicitly left out Donald Trump personally. That is where this dispute is at. And as you heard Donald Trump say, he did not give me a timeline of when he was aware. So that is really what the district attorney, to our understanding, is trying to pinpoint as to the extent to which he may have been involved in an election violation.
And Vaughn, briefly here, I know Trump has been critical of Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg and continues to call him out on social media. We know Bragg's office has pushed back after House GOP members called for Bragg to hand over testimony related to the investigation. So what is he saying now about the prosecutor?
Right. He is taking on Alvin Bragg directly, trying to call into question funding from his own past campaigns. But for Donald Trump, this is also an understanding that if he were to be indicted, he has to go up to New York City and be arraigned and then face criminal proceedings. Donald Trump, I am told, does not want that to happen. I want to let you hear a little bit of Donald Trump up on the stage in Waco. Take a listen.
Prosecutorial misconduct is their new tool, and they are willing to use it at levels never seen before in our country. We've had it but we've never had it like this. We must stop them, and we must not allow them to go through another election where they have yet another tool in their toolkit.
So for Donald Trump, this is two-pronged, Clay. It's one, running for president. Number two, if in case he were to be indicted from any of these investigations, to try to at least win over some public support and have that public support stand behind him as those criminal proceedings were to move forward. Clay?
So much to watch. Vaughn Hilliard, thank you so much, friend.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is back home this morning after being released from an inpatient rehabilitation facility over the weekend. McConnell had been receiving treatment there after he was injured earlier this month in a fall while at a private fundraiser in Washington. He suffered a minor rib fracture and a concussion. In a statement, Senator McConnell says he plans to work from home for the next few days, but will return to the Senate floor just as soon as possible.
And this morning, there's chaos and uncertainty in Israel amid reports Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu could announce the suspension of those controversial judicial changes that have sparked weeks of massive protests. Netanyahu was scheduled to address the nation earlier, but that speech appears to have been postponed. NBC News foreign correspondent Josh Letterman joins us now for more on this. So, Josh, Netanyahu, it appears, is going to U-turn on this judicial overhaul. Do we know exactly why that's happening, why the speech was postponed? What's going on?
Well, we don't know, Clay. We really haven't heard much of anything from Prime Minister Netanyahu, with the exception of a one-sentence statement last night announcing that he'd fired his defense minister. But beyond that, it has been largely silence. Now, we had expected that he might speak several hours ago. That clearly has not happened yet. And members of his Likud party have been telling Israeli media throughout the morning that the prime minister is set to walk this back, to announce that he's suspending moving forward with this proposed judicial overhaul that has caused all of this consternation. But so far, he has not come out and said that or exactly the reasons why he might have arrived at that decision. But clearly, this situation in Israel is spiraling out of control, with large swaths of the economy now shutting down as major industries are on strike. The airport in outside of Tel Aviv essentially shut down, no flights going out of there. And so this is a economic, political, and diplomatic crisis that is getting worse by the hours, Clay.
And Josh, you described the situation as spiraling. It strikes me that this comes a day after the prime minister fired his defense minister for calling on the government to stop this overhaul. So can you walk us through the events of the weekend and how we got here?
Yeah, this has been bubbling up for weeks, with major opposition from all of the opposition parties in government, protests in the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, as well as concerns flowing in from other countries around the world about the undermining, in their view, of Israel's democracy. And over the course of that opposition, we started to see members of Israel's reserve forces say they were not going to show up for training, that they felt their own legal protections were undermined if it was unclear whose orders they should be taking, or if Israel no longer was perceived as having an independent judiciary. And then that really went to a whole new level after the defense minister, Gallant, said last night that he was coming out in opposition to this proposed judicial overhaul because he said it's undermining Israel's security. Then a few hours later, we heard from Prime Minister Netanyahu firing him in a one-sentence statement, and that really has triggered these mass protests that we're seeing throughout the streets of Israel right now.
And Josh, briefly here, if Netanyahu does end up halting these judicial changes, where does it leave Israel's far-right coalition government?
You know, we don't know yet. On the one hand, we've seen some members of Netanyahu's coalition, like his far-right national security minister, Ben Gvir, saying, look, if he pulls back on this overhaul, we're out, that it is a deal breaker for them. But on the other hand, there are people who are in his coalition who really have gotten positions of a lot of power as a result of the horse trading that Netanyahu had to do to put this delicate position, coalition to govern together. And so it's questionable whether they would be willing to throw all that out and get rid of their own powerful positions in opposition to what is clearly a large movement amongst the Israeli people to pull back on this proposed judicial overhaul.
Josh Letterman, thank you so much.
Well, coming up on this hour of Morning News now, the death toll is rising from that massive explosion that rocked a Pennsylvania chocolate factory on Friday.
7 people are now confirmed dead. We've got the latest, plus how that tiny community is dealing with the destruction.
Welcome back. You are looking at the video from the moment a powerful explosion rocked a chocolate factory in eastern Pennsylvania. At least 7 people died in that blast. NBC News correspondent George Solis is in West Reading, where this explosion happened, and joins us now for more on this developing story. Good morning, George. So what can you tell us about the latest on the death toll and the investigation there?
Yeah, good morning, Stephen. It's obviously a somber morning here in West Reading, Pennsylvania. 7 confirmed dead after this deadly explosion that really rocked this community. There was some hope over the weekend when one person, a lone survivor, was saved from this avalanche of debris and rubble following this explosion. Officials said they were going to work through the weekend to try and find more survivors, and unfortunately that death toll just kept climbing. Late last night, officials confirming that the final 2 bodies were recovered from the rubble. So now this transitions from that search and recovery effort to just clean up, and crews here are being very methodical still as they work and clean up this debris. And again, people in this community are just reeling because this factory here has been in this community for decades.
Yeah, just devastating to see that video of the explosion, George. The destruction of the building there pretty evident. So just how bad is the damage, though, to the surrounding area?
Yeah, we were told by officials that this blast was so powerful that the building next to it actually moved around 4 feet from its foundation, and 3 buildings around the explosion site have now been condemned. You can rest assured that now that they are no longer looking for bodies in this rubble, they're going to go in there and be a lot more methodical around the blast zone to see if what other buildings may be structurally sound as a result of this blast. This is going to be a massive cleanup effort, as you can see from some of the images and some of the video that you're seeing. So this is going to be a very lengthy investigation, Stephen.
And George, what about the community? How are they responding? You mentioned how a big part this factory was for them. It's been there since the 40s. What are they saying?
Yeah, you can imagine people in this community are just devastated. Some telling our affiliate that they knew some of the people that worked in that factory, and they're still waiting to get confirmation who the victims might be, because we do want to note that at this point officials have not released the identities of the people that were working inside at the time of this explosion. We do have an interview with a person who can sort of really echo the sentiment of what this community is feeling right now. Take a listen.
We are such a small, tight-knit community, and it was so humbling to see everybody come together, even just neighbors coming together for neighbors.
That's where all the Easter candy is made, and I was born and raised here, so this has been part of our family and all the residents around here for many, many, many years.
So what's next? Well, right now that things again have transitioned from search and recovery to just cleanup, the big question, what led to this catastrophe? Guys?
Big question indeed. Just so shocking. George Solis, thanks so much.
In international news, there's been outcry over a bill in the East African country of Uganda, making it illegal to identify as LGBTQ. The bill even makes so-called aggravated homosexuality punishable by death. NBC News Tehran bureau chief and correspondent Ali Arouzi has the details.
If you identify as gay in Uganda, it could land you in prison for the rest of your life, or even the death penalty in certain cases. The change comes after Parliament passed a new bill with widespread support to crack down on the country's LGBT community.
In our country, we will have our morals. We will protect our children. We are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda.
The bill still needs to be signed by the president to become law, but it would make merely identifying as gay illegal for the first time. Frank Mugisha, a gay LGBT activist living in Uganda, has grave concerns.
Because it has a death penalty, and many people will be worried. Many people would be scared.
The move is drawing ire from around the world. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights calling it a deeply troubling development.
Anti-homosexuality bill that just passed Parliament in Uganda is probably the most draconian and hideous anti-LGBTQ bill that exists anywhere in the world.
And she's not alone in that sentiment. The White House press secretary agreeing, also bringing up potential ripple effects of such a law.
We have grave concerns with the passage of the Anti-Homosexuality Act. It would impinge upon universal human rights, jeopardize progress in the fight against HIV/AIDS, deter tourism, and invest in Uganda and damage Uganda's international reputation.
Uganda is already one of more than 60 nations around the world that outlaw homosexual acts, according to the Human Rights Watch. But this bill introduces many new criminal offenses which could affect the entire population. Friends, family, and other citizens would have a duty to report individuals in same-sex relationships to the authorities.
It prohibits landlords from renting premises that are used for the purposes of homosexuality. You can be sentenced to prison for 10 years for knowingly renting a room to someone who's LGBTQ.
The law would also criminalize the promotion or normalization of homosexuality, which means any organization, including foreign ones, that has a policy of non-discrimination could face criminal charges, with individuals being subject to lengthy jail sentences.
The worst would be mass arrests of LGBTQ persons, mob violence towards the LGBTQ community. Putting LGBT persons, I don't know if they're going to be concentration camps or rehabilitation centers that are so discriminatory, because many people are going to be internally displaced.
Our thanks to Ali for that important report. And some members of the Ugandan LGBTQ community are now calling on the United States for help, asking President Biden to send a clear message that this bill will not be tolerated. Important steps there. And coming up, a passport backlog could keep you from your dream summer vacation this year.
Yeah, so what's behind this post-COVID delay? We'll dig into it after this. We're back with a look at how one educator is making it his mission to teach the truth, despite Florida's Stop Woke Act, which controls how students learn about Black history and other events. Through this privately funded initiative, a former professor is teaching students the truth about Florida's past. NBC News correspondent Tremaine Lee has more on that story.
82-year-old Marvin Dunn is leading what he calls Teach the Truth tours across Florida, taking students and their families on an exploration of Florida's Black past. They're stopping at historical markers and cemeteries, visiting burial sites of people murdered in white supremacist violence, their stories buried for decades. High school junior Morgan Everett joined the tour with her mother, sister, and cousins.
It has changed the way I think, the way I see slavery, the way I see our Black people in America.
Older folks like me have been trying to wake these young people up for years. Now they are awake.
Dunn is sharing his passion for Black history with new urgency as the Stop Woke Act, signed by Governor Ron DeSantis last year, takes hold in Florida's K-12 public schools.
We are not going to teach our students to hate this country or to hate each other.
History comes with pain, but to avoid that is to avoid the truth, is to avoid reconciliation.
The law does not mention specific events or people. Instead, it bans the way certain lessons can be taught, especially when it comes to race, gender, or sexuality, telling educators, in part, instruction may not be used to indoctrinate or persuade. Because it's vague on specifics, Dunn and other educators believe the law will force them to water down history.
There's no way to teach history without having the emotional aspect of it included. And once you try to take that out of it, you don't have history anymore.
Out on the tour, the group visits Live Oak, where they learn about 15-year-old Willie James Howard, a Black teen who was kidnapped and lynched in the Swanee River in 1944 after he wrote a love letter to a white girl.
At 15, you're the same age that boy was when he was killed. That has to sit with you in some deep way.
Most definitely. When I touched his headstone, I really felt a sense of serenity and gratitude. That could have been me. We shall overcome.
At Greenwood Cemetery, they honor a Black man named Julius July Perry. He and others died in the November 1920 Ocoee Massacre, a ruthless election day purge of Black citizens who were trying to exercise their right to vote. A century later, Governor DeSantis signed a new education measure requiring schools to study how to include the Ocoee Massacre in Black history education.
The Ocoee Massacre is the only anti-Black action in Florida that is required students to learn.
Since 1994, Florida has been one of a few states to mandate the study of Black history in public schools. But some black parents worry the laws don't do enough, so they seek out events like Dunn's Teach the Truth Tour to fill in what they see as gaps in their children's education and their own.
Now I said, son, have you ever heard about the Ocoee incident? He said, no, mommy. I said, neither have I. To know that back then in the 1920s, there were prosperous African Americans. It shows that we've always been successful, but those stories are hidden from us.
We asked all 67 Florida public school districts how they teach African American history. About a third responded, giving us details on their curricula. But according to the Florida Department of Education's African American History Task Force, only 11 of the districts overall qualify as exemplary, meaning they meet the state's criteria for African American history instruction.
Come on down, guys.
The tour ends at Dunn's property in Rosewood, where in 1923, a white woman's lie about being assaulted by a black man led to a racist massacre and a black town destroyed. He wants to build a memorial park here and eventually a museum.
I have never done anything in my life more serious than this.
For now, he's vowing to keep giving students the nitty-gritty on history, planting seeds he hopes will blossom into a brighter future.
An important discussion there. Our thanks to Tremaine Lee for that report.
If you're hoping to travel internationally this year and you don't already have a valid passport, be warned, getting one could take months. NBC News correspondent Tom Costello explains why.
Countdown to vacation 2023 and a post-pandemic surge of Americans going international. But if you don't have a valid passport, beware. The State Department reports an unprecedented 500,000 passport renewal applications each week, 30 to 40% more than last year. And that means big delays.
We're looking for a regular passport about 10 to 13 weeks. And for an expedited passport, about 7 to 9 weeks.
Flag that. Regular passport renewals can take 3+ months. If you expedite, it can take more than 2 months. Why the backlog? Passport demand tanked during the pandemic, so the State Department reassigned or laid off passport staff. Now they're staffing up and adding extra offices to meet demand.
We are receiving frantic calls and outreach from a lot of our constituents.
C.J. Leonard bought her ticket to visit friends in Ireland and used the online portal to renew her passport 2 months before departure. Then waited and waited. Then spent hours on the phone and got her congresswoman involved. Her expedited passport arrived just in time.
Until I got on the plane, I really didn't think I was going because of all this. So it was really exciting to get the passport.
The advice from the travel pros:
I wouldn't book your vacation until you've actually got the passport.
The State Department has been testing out a new online portal for renewals, but that system has some glitches and now it's offline. State is hoping that it will be up later this year. All the more reason to get your paperwork in early.
Important tips. Tom Costello, thank you so much.
Well, coming up, Forza Crowd. That's the Final Four we're talking about.
And if your March Madness bracket is not already blown to bits, the teams that made it this year will give you a run for your money. We've got the highlights next. We're back now with new legislation in Utah that could make access to social media more difficult for children.
Yeah, the groundbreaking laws, which may soon be adopted in other states, are designed to improve mental health for children by limiting their time on those platforms. NBC News national correspondent Miguel Almaguer has those details.
When it goes into effect next year, children and teenagers in Utah could lose access to their social media accounts or face a barrage of restrictions aimed at shielding them from platforms some call addictive and dangerous. The law, just signed by Utah's governor, is expected to face legal challenges because of the wide-ranging impact on companies like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook, in addition to requiring age verification and giving parents access to their children's accounts. The law prohibits kids under 18 from using social media between 10:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. Nicolene Peck is a mother of 4.
I think it's a move in a really good direction that empowers parents to have hard conversations with their children about what's going on online and helps them be involved.
You may not care that your data is being accessed now, but it will be one day when you do care about it.
As lawmakers raise security and privacy issues concerning tech giants, several states are following Utah's lead to limit harmful effects of social media on teen mental health.
It could be difficult to enforce the law. Some of it I don't think will be. We have some really strict parental control tools.
With some calling the legislation unconstitutional and an infringement on free speech, Meta, which owns Facebook, says it's committed to keeping teens safe and will work with policymakers.
Groundbreaking legislation and the social experiment. Will it work? Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
Now to some financial headlines. Big changes are coming to Silicon Valley Bank after its collapse weeks ago.
Yeah, CNBC's Silvana now joins us with that and more. Good morning, Silvana.
Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Zinkler. Yeah, so First Citizens, one of the nation's largest regional banks, is buying most of Silicon Valley Bank just weeks after the lender's collapse shook the financial system. The FDIC says First Citizens is buying all of SVB's deposits, loans, and branches, which will open under the new ownership today. Now, some $90 billion of SVB's assets will remain under government control until they're dispersed to depositors and other parties. First Citizens, which is based in North Carolina, was the country's 30th largest bank at the end of last year, with more than $100 billion in assets. Microsoft has ended the $1 trial offer for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. The trial has been available for years, and it now looks like Microsoft is considering new promotions instead. The $1 trial let people sign up for a month before the full subscription kicks in at $14.99 a month or $9.99 for PC or console-only subscriptions. And nearly 2/3 of wedding guests are worried about the cost of attending. A new survey by Bankrate finds they plan to spend an average of $611 per wedding. This includes $287 on travel and accommodations, $180 on gifts, and $144 on clothes, hair, makeup, and accessories. More than 1/3 of guests say they'll be more conservative with their spending due to the economy, while 21% will feel pressure to spend more than they're comfortable with. About 20% worry costs will strain their budgets, and 18% will take on credit card debt to be able to attend, guys. It's expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not just saving for the wedding. It sounds like you're saving to attend.
Yeah, a lot to attend. It is. I love that video, though. Everyone was clapping and so happy. Not so much with that $600 price tag.
No. Silvana, thank you so much.
Sure thing.
All right, turning now to March Madness. It was a weekend of celebration, and not just for these guys, the San Diego State Aztecs, but for 3 other teams as well.
And as the race to the finish is coming to a close, we now know which 4 teams are still dancing and who will be facing off against who in college basketball's biggest battle.
Exciting stuff. For more, NBC Sports host and reporter Corey Robinson joins us now for more on this. Good morning, Corey. Thanks for being here.
Madness.
It is madness. We got the Final Four. UConn, we got the University of Miami, San Diego State, Florida Atlantic. This is the lowest seeded top 4?
I mean, look, you have to go back to 1979 when seeding started. This is unprecedented. I know that word's been thrown around a lot. But I mean, like when I remember when Furman beat UVA, I called my dad, and I was like, this is going to be absolutely crazy. Our brackets were completely wrecked by like day 2. You know, this is unbelievable. But yeah, FAU making the run that they've made. You know, Princeton in the Sweet 16 as well. But for me, when I look at the men's side, it's all coming down to UConn. They're like the only team that's been dominant throughout the entire tournament. They've won every game by over 15 points. So for me, they're gonna, you know, in this kind of like wacky scenario, they win it.
All right, so there's also been talk of a potential Cinderella story. The Florida Atlantic Owls have been like the underdog here. They're going to be going up against San Diego State. What's it looking like?
It's
I know
a
they also
winnable
made
game.
history.
Yeah, I think that the thing is, when you think about this tournament, you have to have this idea that we belong here, we can win. And FAU believes that. Like, you know, their whole mentality every week has been, we're here. We belong in the Final Four. They beat Alabama, and everyone's like, what? Like, who is this team?
Yeah.
And they're like, we've been expecting this from ourselves the whole time, right? That's the difference, a mentality. Whereas, like, so I think that's a very winnable game for FAU, and I think it'll be FAU-UConn in the final.
That's the prediction.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
if I had to throw a
You heard it
prediction,
here first.
that's the forecast.
Okay.
We know how forecasting works.
Yeah, it's not an exact science, of course. A lot of people are excited about it, though. These upsets, even with their brackets busted, a lot of people talking about it. Let's also talk about the women's side, though. A lot of big knockouts there over the weekend.
Yeah, so for the women's side, we talked about this before when I came on Zinley. It's just like, who can beat South Carolina? That's kind of the big question. But I must say, Caitlin Clark in Iowa, I mean, they have the same starting five for 3 years, which in college basketball is a luxury, right? Because, you know, in NIL, with transfer portal, it seems like every year, like, just to give you just a comparison, LSU has 9 new players this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that kind of give you an idea of, like, 3 years, the same starting five. Amazing. But LSU's in it as well. Kim Mulkey, Hall of Fame coach. Michael Jordan introduced her at the enshrinement ceremony. I mean, so she's the real deal. She took Baylor to 4 Final Fours and won 3 of them. So her in this dance is a dangerous thing. I think that they could be the underdog that could win it all, if not South Carolina. But Caitlin Clark was just remarkable. A 41-point triple-double.
Woo!
I mean,
so much to watch.
Yeah, a lot. Corey Robinson, thanks for helping us break all that down.
Thank you. We'll be holding our brackets close. And coming up, driving to a dream.
Yeah, after the break, the story of a trucker who went to art school, but he never let the open road distract him from his passion or his painting. That's up next.
Welcome back. Jeremy Renner is literally making strides toward recovery after that snowplow accident. The Marvel star shared a video of himself walking on an anti-gravity treadmill as part of his physical therapy nearly 3 months after he was crushed by his snowplow on New Year's Day. In the video posted to his Instagram page, Renner can be heard saying it's like having a cane while using the device. He captioned the video with, "Now is the time for my body to rest and recover." Stephen, we love to see our superheroes getting better and on the mend.
Yeah, that's some incredible recovery after that accident. So glad to see that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we end this hour with an inspiring story of a man who dreamed of being an artist but found steadier work as a truck driver. However, he never set aside his dream. NBC News Chief White House correspondent and Weekend Today co-anchor Peter Alexander has this story.
For more than 50 hours a week, Tim Kelly is on the go. Just the way he likes it.
I like moving around. I don't like being stuck in one place for long. So driving a truck keeps me moving.
He's been moving for the last 20 years, hauling everything from toothpicks to tires for T-Force Freight.
It's a really good, comfortable, blue-collar life.
But like the roads that wind through Maryland, Tim's trek to trucking was not a straight shot.
Driving a truck the dream? No, the dream was to be an artist.
After studying art in college, Tim got a degree in illustration, just as that skill was growing obsolete. Tim was never starving as an artist, but trucking offered a steadier income, while the view from his cab fueled his passion inside.
I could paint what I wanted. I didn't have to do what somebody else is telling me to do. And that was tremendously freeing.
Finally, he could paint for pleasure, not pay. While his trailer's unloaded, Tim connects with his canvas. Today's subject matter is familiar, a blend of colors giving his routine life.
You get into like a Zen mode where you're locked into what you're doing and everything outside of you sort of turns off. That's really fun when you get in that zone.
From portraits of beauty to a simple scene at breakfast, Tim's talent is unmistakable, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. His preferred style is plein air, completed outdoors. In 2021, at one of the most prestigious plein air competitions in the U.S., Tim's entry, titled A Little Bit Louder Now, won Best in Show.
What does it mean to you? I'm still buzzing on the endorphins, Peter. You know, we artists, we're not supposed to be like ultra competitive. Right. But I have to confess, I really wanted to win that event.
By day's end, Tim is parked at Baltimore's famed Inner Harbor. That golden light, a gift.
It seems like this is what energizes you. Why?
When I'm in the flow of this, there's nothing better.
A trucker on the road.
I am a painter that drives a truck. That's what I am.
But an artist at heart.
Wow, beautiful stuff. I love that.
Yes.
Well, our thanks to Peter Alexander for that report. Tim says, by the way, he keeps his supplies in his truck and is always on the lookout for some inspiration.
Oh, a good reminder that there's no excuse for not following your passion.
There you go. Find a way. That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
The news continues right now.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.